I mean, these are challenging times, to state the obvious. Frankly, every team meeting, you have schedule updates. You're just in the fact on a number of different focuses. This is the first time we've been here as a staff and a team that I've coached. So just trying to get tweaks and that you make just based on flow, and we'll continue to adjust that here through the week. And it's no different, I think, with the NFL, the league offices going through. So as they make the adjustments, you just adjust and act accordingly. And that's so. Yes, I do get the updates. We'll have the league offices coming in tomorrow to look at some things, and so I'm sure there'll be conversations after that. I mean, these are unique times that we're in, so continue to communicate and make sure we're doing the things we need to do. Well, just coming in to take a look at our operation, I think it's a standard procedure. So didn't realize I was breaking news there, Ed. I figured you had it already. Okay. I thought the first day, I liked the energy. I thought the pace and tempo, we hit the mark. So, but I think in a lot of ways, there were things that you go through in the first day. I mean, it's a great example why training camp is so important. So we have a lot of work to do, but we went back and emphasized our first install. It wasn't a very long practice. It was 2 hours, but I thought the players did a great job, doing it right and so forth. But it wasn't clean in some areas, but that's football. You get to clean that up, and we'll just continue to work on the time clocks and the spacing and timing, all those things that you need to do at this time of year. So I thought we got off to a good start. Felt good walking off the field, based off of the energy, the communication. We had the mock game. The second part of the day was really good. I think we just had the one hiccup near the end of it. So so for the first day, I thought the communication was exceptional for what we're trying to get done. So I don't like to compare it, to last year, but that's part of it. So we're definitely a lot further ahead than we were this time last year. Thought Dak made a very strong first impression, total command of the offense. So, and I think, where we are defensively too, I think we're able to take a step coming out of the spring for what we accomplished. And because the biggest challenge in my experience in training camp is the at the line of scrimmage work, the cadence, the ability to challenge the defense, and just to have your first practice, and it usually takes a few days to get into it, but just like today, we had a couple instances where the offense checked the play and the defense made another check, and so they took, they kind of won the scheme battle. So now now we want to go check, and that's football. So I think just the fact that obviously that's the way the quarterback mind works, but now for him to be able to exercise it in real time and get get everybody else on the same page. This work is so valuable. It's so needed. And I thought he made a very strong impression first day out there. Had a couple really nice throws. He had a big time throw in the scramble drill. I thought it was exceptional. Well, they look great. Obviously the offensive line as a whole. I really like the look of our offensive line. But yeah, both those guys are, the rehab. Part of it, they've been excellent. So it was great to get those guys out there. No, our staff is 100% vaccinated. Yeah, no, I just think it's just a matter of where he is coming off of it. Yeah, but no, there's nothing really that LC will continue to work, and yeah, I wouldn't put a whole lot into the snaps yesterday.
What intangibles does Dak possess in terms of leadership that are unique maybe compared to others?
Well, I mean, when I think of Dak Prescott, outside of his talent as a professional athlete, I just his personality. He's so genuine. I think his the foundation of who he is. He's genuine and he's the same person every day. I think that goes so far in life. It definitely goes so far in our operation. So there's not a room he cannot walk into and connect with and be a part of. And that's a unique skill that he has. His ability to relate, communicate is exceptional. He's a young man beyond his years. Genuine jumps out to me first. Oh, I'm sure it did. I didn't talk to him about it, but absolutely. I think for the players that have been here and the players particularly that have been injured last year and been here, this is a special place for them. All the communication has been extremely positive about coming back to camp here, and the fact that a number of those guys were on the injury reserve list last year. So I think there's a number of guys in that position.
How about for you, Mike, to see those guys all back on the field?
I'm sorry.
For you to see all those guys that were injured last year back on the field together?
Stating obvious, we're a different team. We're with our veteran players coming back, and just watching them go through the rehab and feeling good about the return. It definitely will be a huge impact to our roster, huge impact to our team. And that's just why we want to have a healthy, competitive training camp, and they'll be a big part of our success. Yes, he has a hamstring injury. I don't have the exact timeline for it, but he suffered a hamstring in the team fundamental drills. No, I think that's a very good observation. But I think Tom has to answer that. He looks no different today than my experience with him in live training camp action last year. So, that's a consistent comparable, I think, for everybody that's been involved with his rehab. And so, and as we go into the padded practices, I think clearly that'll be a threshold that he'll get over, particularly with the bodies around him then to get into the teamwork. But I watched him closely in the teamwork live yesterday by design, and he didn't flinch. It looked like he never left. So that's a good point. But when he plays in the preseason games, that'll be the second threshold for sure, and I'm sure he'll be as excited as anybody when we kick it off in Tampa. It's outstanding. It's everything that everybody said it would be. The facility, the setup is very functional. It's obviously beautiful. The weather, the music, the stereo systems are better than the one we had at home. Don't tell Jerry I said that because I don't want to disrespect the star. But the energy was excellent. The energy on the field was excellent. The crowd was great. And most importantly, our players appreciate that. It's the environment that, frankly, we need to get used to playing in. We've talked a lot about playing with crowd noise. We play our first two games on the road, and just being out there yesterday is a reminder that we have a lot of work to do, particularly in crowd noise, just because we haven't done it in quite some time. So yeah, but the atmosphere here is excellent. This is a great place to have a training camp. I think it's important, but I always think it's important. But I think when you get into these preseason games, the emphasis of playing your starters is important. But I think you can't lose sight of the young players. The young players need those reps. So the development of your young players is critical. The roster development as far as competition is probably, in my view, the most important thing in preseason. Because particularly your veterans, the norm is you have a relationship. There's familiarity, continuity that's already established. You can see that with our veteran players on offense. The newness of defense will probably factor into the decisions of who plays, how much they play, and this and that. So, that's all part of what goes into the decision making. Dak, I anticipate Dak to play in the preseason. I anticipate Dak to play in the preseason. Come on, I can't give everything. Yes. Trayvon looked great yesterday, but that was a huge emphasis even when going back to the postseason evaluation when we were talking about adding players to our defense, particularly the perimeter defensive players. We need to put a higher emphasis on players making plays on the ball. Their skill set coming out of college, the skill set, the free agents that we brought in, and that's been consistent. So, and I hope and I am confident that will continue to be part of who we are on defense. I thought the second half of last year we did a really good job taking the football away, and we need to build off of that. But we've had a tremendous amount of change in personnel on defense, but I think those guys are off to a good start because we have some guys that have longer levers and the ability to go make plays on the ball. So that's a primary focus for us. I like the intent of your question because I think it's important really for that whole rookie class, for the guys that really didn't get the opportunities, because I think like anything, because obviously you think very highly of Reggie. It obviously started on draft day, so I think sometimes as a coach you're guilty of trying to get them on the field, and you probably hold them back a little bit because you spread them out, change of positions and special teams work and so forth. But he prefers to play corner. That's something where that's it's been communicated, and I think he feels better there. But you want to make sure your young guys have plenty of opportunities to contribute, and I think he'll definitely have that opportunity this year.
How is the players receiving what discussions like began? How much
Well, I mean that's an excellent insight because frankly we did too much on him yesterday. His volume yesterday was off the charts as far as how much he did out there on the practice field. So I think that speaks to him and his ability and his talent. So, but also we're new as a defense. We're trying to work different combinations of personnel. We have great challenges in front of us as far as trying to play all those guys. But I think like anything, you don't want to spread him too thin, and, because he is unique. You can see that right away out there, and particularly some of the plays he made in space and recovery, and you forget about his size and how powerful that he is. So I think like all of us, it'll be exciting to see him in pads and get going. So we'll continue to watch that because you want to make sure you're giving him his opportunities also. Well, a combination of both. Yeah, combination. Well, I mean, that frankly, I think it's a bigger challenge in today's NFL because of the limited number of padded practices. I think the non-padded practices are important. I think the trajectory that it puts you into as far as your training sequence and how you build up. Like today, I've never just gone one practice and right into a regen day, but it's something that's been talked about a lot in the past. And after watching it, us convert into this day, I frankly I'll do it like this every year because I think you tend to forget that there's a lot of anxiety and stress that goes into traveling and the first day of camp and then long. So I think there's for all the guys, there's a little bit of a, okay, we're here. We got through the first practice, and but I think really, in response to your question, that kind of, hopefully that'll take care of itself. But it is a bigger challenge because you put so much value in the padded practices, and even a higher value into the preseason games. But then you get into this preseason games, and it's I've seen it happen time and time again where your reps don't get totally the way you want them, because a lot of times when you, particularly with veteran players, especially quarterbacks, in my past, is it's not really a matter of if they're going to play. It's really who they're playing with, because you're not just trying to play one guy a certain number of steps. Reps, you're trying to get a certain personnel group or a combination of guys in a rush plan, or a combination of guys in the coverage sequence. So all those things go into it. So you just hopefully it sorts out that everybody has had a fair chance to make the team, and you get the information you need to make sure you clearly evaluate your roster.
Having said that, how do you sort through the process of the competition at the quarterback spot?
I'm sorry, can you first part?
Quarterback spot. How
Yes.
do you sort through that process?
Well, I mean, there's definitely a rep count there, and it's set each and every time. I would think that these type of practices are definitely, you can put more value into the quarterback position, because decision making is really what a big part of that's going to come down to. So, but we'll continue to rep all three of those guys, and that'll be sequenced. Oh, definitely. No, I think Ben DiNucci's had an excellent off-season program. I thought he definitely was one of the top guys in the off-season program as far as weight gain, strength gains, and in that particular area. I mean, his classroom, which is natural, he's clearly advanced. So we just got to get him to play with just a little more patience, a little more confidence. But his skill set is definitely what we're looking for. So he needs to take that second-year jump that we talk about with our second-year players. So up until this point, he's done that. Performance. I mean, he needs opportunities, and he needs to have success on the field. That's really his next threshold he needs to get over. Everything. I like his disposition. I like the way he approaches the game. The way he flies around. His communication is exceptional. He's a ball hawk. I mean, he's got excellent ball skills. So he's an excellent fit. We'll see. I mean, we're watching them. I mean, it's we have a GPS meeting after 3 hours after every practice. So we're watching everything. So that's really for all the guys that have gone through the rehab process, particularly the veteran group. Well, I mean, there's history. Every player has history. Every player has things that you look at it. It's broken down by drill, and just push. But I'm not concerned about Dak's workload. So he handled the full workload yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you. That doesn't take much, but I do.
to our goals. We've got to stay committed to each other. But Britt Brown's done an amazing job with each and every one of us, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank him, obviously, as well as I'm sure the other guys want to on his behalf of just pushing us each and every day. There's nobody like him that could have gotten us all back to where we need to be. Old school, special, gritty. He's passionate, does what he does his job with true passion, with true love, loves the guys that he's coaching, and you feel it each and every day that you go out there, whether it's a light day or whether it's a hard day. He's going to let you know, he's going to be honest, he's going to take care of you, and it just makes you a better person and a better player every time you get out there in rehab or anytime you just get with him.
Shared with us yesterday, I was in the hospital after the injury and the interaction that you guys had the first time. Do you remember any of that?
Obviously not. I mean, I saw that little clip, and yeah, I definitely don't remember that. I know when he left, my family told me he came, and obviously that meant a lot to me. But I was a little bummed that I didn't remember it, didn't remember our interactions, and obviously my family was just like, yeah, you were talking out of nowhere. So, oh well. But it was great.
Was there a special visiting in there that meant something more to you?
I mean, just having my family. That was a game that honestly, my aunt, my uncle, my brothers were at. The family was there. All my friends were there. Everyone showed up to the hospital, saw them before I went back into into surgery. So just obviously they all waited on me, and then just to get out and to see each and every one of them, my girlfriend, it was special. Honestly, it really was. Just knowing that it was going to be a long process, but I had the people around me that I needed to, and they know how much this game means to me and how much I was going to do to get back on top of it. So they're just motivating and inspiring the whole way through.
So it was a larger contingent than normal that you would have had at
Yes, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, so first day in here, Knoxville, Coach McCarthy said that with big contracts come big responsibilities,
For sure.
and that not only inside the field but outside, that nobody emulates that better than Dak Prescott. So how does that make you feel to have that support of your coach, and if you can expand a little bit more on that relationship that you currently have, support system also involved in this?
Yeah, I mean, the support system is great. I mean, not only from my family, but from this organization as a whole. I mean, I went through what I went through and was able to rehab myself, and somehow along that process got signed to a long-term deal. So, I mean, I think that says a lot when you think about the commitment that this organization and the people in the support staff have to me. And I think that's just because each and every day I come in, I give my all. I give my all to them. I give my all to this game. I give my all to this organization, and it's special. It's special just to be here, to be in training camp, and just know great things are going to come from this year. And as I said, we're going to take it day by day and just get better each and every way.
Sorry, what do you remember about the experience of your rookie camp that might inform the way you work with the three guys behind you?
One more time, man.
What do you remember about the experiences of your rookie camp
Yeah.
that might inform the way you work with the three guys now behind you?
Yeah, I mean, whether it was rookie camp, whether it was the camp after that, I know we have to push each other to get better. And I need those three guys right now, and they need me, obviously. So it's always talking, it's always communicating with the signal callers, and I know that they have to lead those twos, those threes, or whatever it is, because we never know when one of those guys, whether it's them or whether it's somebody from their huddle, is going to be asked to come fill in the position. I mean, last year said it best. So it's to lead by example first and foremost, but then communicate after that and push those guys. As I said, I know they're only going to make me better and they're going to make this team better as long as we're doing that in the meeting room, on the field, off the field, just anytime that we're together.
You've always been considered a strong leader. Is going through what you've gone through here these past few months make you even better in that regard, just given the perspective that you may have now that you didn't before?
Yes, for sure. I just think on the simple fact of sitting there watching the game, I've never had to watch as much football in my life without being a part of it. So, yeah, you don't take the small things for granted. You don't take the walkthroughs, you don't take the meetings, you don't take hanging out at lunch or dinner with the guys for granted, because at any moment, obviously, it can be taken away from you. And it can be taken away from you for a short period of time or for a long time, and we don't necessarily know that. That's what this game brings. So, yeah, you just got to take advantage of everything and each and every opportunity. I'm going to make sure that these young guys know that, these old guys know that, know how special it is when we're all together and when we're all working, and that we can accomplish all the things that we want as long as we're on the same page. It's about getting better. Obviously, I want to be better than I was before the ankle injury. So to me, it's about getting to that point and then getting past that and making sure that this team gets better, more importantly. I'm going to be ready, but I've got to make sure this offense, this defense, the special teams, and us as a group, collectively, we're playing together, and that we know we're one heartbeat. We're as good as our weakest link, and we've got to be committed to that. We've got to be committed to each other, hold each other accountable. And I think if we do that, then we decide our goals and we can go accomplish them. Yeah, I mean, obviously, going through what I went through, it took a lot of mental strength just to get through some of those times, just get through the time, as I said, of not doing anything, of the time where it's you and your mind, really. And it's just allowed me to grow as a man, more importantly. Then obviously, as I grow as a man, I'm going to grow as a football player. I'm going to grow as a leader. And that's been the special part of this adversity. And I always say where adversity comes, brings opportunity. And that's exactly what has happened. Is it's been an opportunity for me to become a better person so I can be better for other people and give them something. I don't necessarily think that's exactly important, Clarence. I think that's HIPAA. But I understand where Zeke comes from. I understand everybody's opinion. And I think everybody's has that right. We wouldn't live in this country, and we wouldn't be we're in the position that we're in if that wasn't the case. Obviously, we'll have to do a better job of educating ourselves, educating our neighbors, just on this whole pandemic, just this whole situation, the vaccine. And I think, and I know that this team is going to get to the numbers. This team is going to do what we have to do to make sure that we're continually progressing through this thing the right way. I mean, there's small talks. Obviously, when you see certain guys come out and say certain things that they did on social, obviously that sparks conversations and things of that such. And as I said, I'm very confident in this team that we'll get to where we need to be, and I know we're on that way to doing the best that we can to help each other, to help this team and help the possibilities of this season.
Coach McCarthy said he wasn't 100% on board with getting vaccinated initially, but after he looked at the science and looked at some of the statistics, it changed his mind. How much of an impact do you think his message had on the overall team?
And I think that's huge. Him just saying that, obviously, him saying how he was against it, and obviously went forward to get it because he educated himself, and I think that's the best that we can do. But obviously, there's conspiracies and there's so much stuff out there right now, right? So, as I said, everybody's welcome to their own opinion, and this thing wouldn't be an option if it wasn't that case. So, we just got to continue to do that, talk amongst each other, answer some of the questions that people may have, try to give hope where there may be fear, or just figure this thing out. As I said, it's all about educating ourselves and knowing as much as we can about what we're putting in our bodies. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it firsthand. He's taken a step that that shows that last year was not who he was, and he doesn't want to put that on tape again. He doesn't want to be that player, whether it was mistakes or whether it wasn't being healthy or whatever it is. And he's one of the most competitive people I've met in my life. He's somebody that I've talked about time and time again about cares more about this game than a lot of things and a lot more than a lot of people do, and it's special. And so that's all that was just a commitment to him being a better player. Obviously, it's going to lead to him being a better person. And I know he's going to make a huge jump, and he's going to be, I mean, I expect to see the best Zeke that we've ever seen in the NFL, to be honest, just from the way that he's trained, just from the way that he's approached it, just the way that he studies, just the way that he's come out here and handled himself just these first couple of opportunities we've been on the field. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to play. As far as giving you a number or a quantity of how much I need to, I just want to obviously get back out there, get some reps before it's real, just to have a live defense coming at me. Hopefully not take too many licks because I've got great protection, but that's part of the game, and I think that would be great to obviously get up from that, wipe it off, and just be another process, I said, of bearing the injury, obviously. And I think it will be huge. Obviously, not having the preseason last year, me and Zach Martin were talking about it just the other day. That's a big thing. It's getting those preseason reps, just getting some practice or whatever you want to, exhibition reps underneath you before it really matters goes a long way. And I think this team needs it, and I know it'll help us once it's true. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was special just being able to sign with Jumpman, the Jordan brand, and just knowing what kind of athlete he was, what kind of competitor he was, what kind of winner he was. Then just during COVID, we all pretty much watched The Last Dance, and just getting another peek and another insight of who he was as a player just jumped out to me. So, I mean, it was special for me to be able to put my name with him, to be able to bring Jordan, to bring the Cowboys together. I think it's special. I think it's special for me. I think it's special for this organization and for fans of the Cowboys and fans of the brand. I'm just excited to wear it. Yeah, I mean, we've sat at lunch and dinner. We've had some good conversations, and I know all of his interests. And I told him the other day when we were starting one of the team drills, this isn't chess. This is the real thing. So I love Mike. I think he's a great guy, great kid, great football player, and I know he's going to make this team better. He's going to make that defense better, and we're lucky to have him.
Zeke also talked yesterday about getting back to things, technical football issues early in the season last year. You had some of the same
For sure.
issues. What have you done in terms of watching tape that said to you, well, I can't do this, I can't do that?
Yeah, just knowing when it's important to give up on a play, to throw the ball away, whether or to slide when you're running. Just being a smarter player overall, knowing that it's for the benefit of the whole team. Being a playmaker, being a guy that wants to make big plays, you want to do that, and so you've got to balance the risk versus reward. Know when it's time to, as I said, burn the play and just move on to the next, or Maybe it's a third down or it's a fourth down. We've got to have it, and you've got to push those limits. But just about figuring out those balances and continuing to watch film, continuing to educate myself, talk to coaches, and do that. I mean, we had great team meetings at the beginning of this camp that I think handled it. As we said, it's going to be a fly on the wall, and it's not going to be a distraction. Things are a distraction that you allow to become a distraction. I know we've got the right leaders, we've got the right personalities on this team to focus. And when you're coming off a season last year, you know the importance is the work on the field. So I don't think anybody's necessarily worried about them. We're going to allow them to do their job. We're going to focus on our job, and hopefully just go smooth. Yeah, exactly that. Be the best offense in the NFL. Stats, scoring, whatever you want to say, we want to be the best offense, and we want to make sure that we're playing complementary football, first and foremost, with our defense and with our special teams. It's just not about getting out there and throwing it 100 times, but it's about playing complementary football, the run game, the pass game, the action game, and allowing the defense to get rest, giving the defense a chance to get out there and to be their best when they're out there as well. So, but first and foremost, just be the best offense in the NFL. Yeah, for sure. We've got to be balanced. We can definitely be explosive in the pass game. You see the receivers that we have, the tight end, and then you see the two backs. So even them out of the backfield, this pass game is going to be limitless. But we've got to make sure that the run game is the complementary. And I think it starts up front with this offensive line that we have and them setting the tone in the run game that's going to allow us to get the boxes, it's going to allow us to get the matchups that we want to be able to attack teams outside. And then once we do that, it's going to be trouble for whoever we're playing, and we're excited to just take step by step, honestly, and to make sure that when it all counts, that we're doing exactly that the right way. How about him? Just obviously he said that after winning the big one, right? And to me, that's always stuck with me. I mean, when I sign autographs, a lot of times they ask for me to put "How about them boys" on them. So I mean, I think that's just kind of been a label to Cowboy fans. Is every team kind of has their saying, and that's stuck. That's stuck, and I think it means a lot. But I know I want to get in the locker room and say it the same way that he said it, and then it'll mean a whole lot more than to me. I'm excited. I'm excited. What a special way to start this season off, not only for us, but for this league, for fans. America's team playing, obviously, the reigning Super Bowl champions with the best quarterback to do it. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the matchup against this defense, a very talented defense. And I know our defense is very excited for that matchup against Tom and his guys. So it's going to be special, as I said, not only for Cowboy Nation, but for this NFL. And be a great way to kick off the season and kick off our season the right way. Yeah. Oh, it was great. Blake's one of the many guys that I've rehabbed with along the last few months. So it's special just knowing that he's back out there as well. My first throw at practice yesterday, sure it was a walkthrough, but I made sure I threw it to Blake. Just obviously I know everything that he's been through, fighting his adversity, fighting his injury, and getting back on that field. Special not only for me but for him and for this offense. He's somebody that we're going to count on. He's somebody that we need, and he's a big-time player that he's going to step up.
Your boys did you organize anything or you share with us? You can talk about the game and how important is that bond that you do?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a special bond. I mean, obviously we're going into year 6, and this game brought us together. But we'll be friends. We'll be friends long after we're done playing. So thankful for a guy like that on the field, off the field. And happy belated birthday to him again. We didn't do anything because it was camp, but my birthday's coming up, so maybe when this thing's all said and done, we've got an off day, we'll do something. So, perfect. Thank you.
Recording. Jared said, please, that's baby. Jared Jones. They were rolling right there. Yeah.